I really intended for this line to go through the center of this cylindrical feature. So I'm going to go back to that canvas and I'm going to edit that canvas and try to rotate that around just a little bit. So I just need to go a couple of degrees, and it might be easiest to just type in the angle if I have a hard time doing it by eye. So let's see how far. So that's let's try 2 degrees. And so that's that looks pretty good right there. And then I may need to move it down a little bit. So I'm looking at the origin, trying to get in the center of this pin right here. And I might need to scale it just a bit more too. And again, if I have trouble scaling it, I can put in a scale factor. Let's make that just a little bit bigger, and I might have made that way too big, and so I need to go back down. Let's put it back on 1, and I'll do 1.101, and a little bit bigger than that. I'm comparing it here and over here. So I'll do 1.02, go a little bit bigger than that, 3. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there. I might have gone a little bit too far. Let's go back to 1.02. So I'm getting my image to match. I can move this around then, and that looks lined up pretty good right there. And then I will put in my dimension that goes in here. So this is the dimension that is giving me a lot of trouble. So I'll put it in right here, and I want that dimension to be 4.47, but that's quite a difference from the dimension that I had in there. So let's undo this and put in the location of that first. So I'll dimension from here back to the origin, and that horizontal distance I'm going to do as 5.31. And then I will change the radius to the 4.47. Alright, so now everything has turned black. It is all fully defined, and I have the dimensions that I want to make it more or less match up with the canvas image. So here I'm a little bit higher than what I show in the canvas image, but again, I don't have this center line. Maybe I rotated that angle too much as well, and use the caliper dimensions as your guiding dimensions. The next few steps are a little bit tricky, and I'm going to draw a line from this intersection between this arc and this line right here over to the center of that circle. And I can see that I didn't get this line in horizontal, so I'll select that, and I'll select horizontal so that that line is horizontal. And then I'm going to draw a line in, and actually I'm going to do this as a circle, so, or a tangent arc. I might have some trouble doing this tangent arc, but I'll try from this point, and I am having trouble. So I'll do it as a 3-point arc. I'll do it from here over onto this arc, and then I'll get it tangent to this line right here. I'm going to trim off the excess of this arc, and so I'll trim that piece off, and then I'm going to dimension the radius of this arc as 0.54, and let's bring that radius up here where we can see that better. And then I'm going to draw a line from this point coming at an angle down here. So I'll draw a line from here, and I'll come down like that. So I went to from the end of this arc, I came down. I want to make this line tangent to this arc. So I'll do tangent this line to this arc, and I want to dimension the length of that line, and so I will dimension this line, and I want the aligned length of that. I accidentally got the this line, so let's try that again. I want this line, and I want the aligned length, and I keep hitting the wrong thing, so let's zoom in on that. Okay, so I'm trying to get this aligned length, and I want that to be 0.265. Right, I want to trim off the excess of this line, so I'll do trim on that, and then I'm going to change these two lines, and this is critically important. I've had more people miss this step than anything else. I want to change these two lines to construction lines. Okay, so it's now underneath of this dimension line. It's hard to see, but that line and this line should be construction lines. So that completes our first sketch. I'll go ahead and finish sketch. And so here is our sketch, and everything has turned black. It is all fully defined. Let's go ahead and save this. So I'm going to start a new sketch, and again, make sure you're in the clamping handle component, and I'll start a new sketch on the XY plane, and then I'm going to project geometry. So I'll P on the keyboard for project geometry. I'll select this line, and I'm going to select this circle, and I'll say OK to that, and then I'll hide sketch number 1 so that we can continue on sketch 2. I want to change this geometry to construction, so I'll select that geometry and change this line and this arc to construction geometry, and I'm going to then draw a line somewhere across here, about like that, and I'll click and drag an arc off the end of this line. I want to make this line tangent to this arc, so I'll do tangent between this line and this arc. And so actually the arc is trimmed off. The arc would continue on up across here. I might draw a circle here from here to here, make it construction, so that I can clearly see what's going on. Let's turn the visibility of sketch 1 back on for a second, and I want the end of this line to be at this point right here, so I'm going to drag that up so it's tangent to the construction arc that I projected, and it's coincident at that location. I will then turn off sketch 1, and I'll put a dimension on here, and so this arc is 6.15. And if I turn on the visibility of my canvas, so I have this line coming along here, so it'll go up to about here, and then this arc, I want that arc to be in this area right in here. I should have left well enough alone in here. And then we will continue down across here, and I want to get one other arc from that previous sketch. And so again, this is a step that gives people trouble, so I'm going to turn sketch 1 on again, and I want to project this arc right here into sketch 2. So I'll do P for project. I'll select this arc, and then I'll hide sketch 1 again. This arc I'm going to leave as an object line. I'll then sketch a horizontal line from the end of this arc over to about like that, and then I'm going to click and drag an arc up about like that, and we'll put a dimension on here, and so the radius of this arc is 2.56. And let's turn on the visibility of the canvas. So I'm doing the bottom side of this now. So let's drag this back in here somewhere. Then I want to put an arc going across here, and to connect all of that together. Let's locate the distance of this arc back to the origin, the center of this arc back to the origin. Let's put that as a distance of 4.42, and then I'm going to draw an arc connecting these two together. So I'll do a tangent arc from here to here. I want to make this arc tangent to that arc, so I'll do tangent this arc to this arc, and then I will dimension this arc. And after considering that, I decided I want this arc to come all the way back over to there. So I'm going to undo back to where I put that arc in, and instead I'm going to bring this arc down and bring this arc up, and I need to get those where they will be tangent to each other. Let's do coincident between this point and this point, and then I'll do tangent between here and here. Okay, and then we need to put in another dimension to fully define this geometry. So this geometry can still translate back and forth, so I need to put one more dimension on here. Let's dimension the distance from the origin to this intersection between the arc and the line. Let's put that distance as 0.91. Now I was expecting it to be fully constrained after I put that dimension in, and so if I attempt to drag this geometry, it still isn't turning black, and I thought at some point that I had this line coincident with that point, and somehow I missed that location, so I'll add that coincident in. So I'll do coincident between this point and this point, and when I do, it gives me an error, and so I didn't expect to have to put this dimension in, and so actually that was the problem, is I need to put this point coincident to that, and so I missed that earlier. So I'll do coincident this point to this point, and it all turns black. It's fully defined. So start dragging geometry around to figure out where you have an error at whenever you get an unexpected condition. So I have this curve in, and so this is for the bottom of this handle. The sketch 1 was for the top of the handle. Let's put the location here and here for this pin and the hole that goes through this part and the hole over here. So I'm going to draw a circle, and I'll draw that circle about right here, and I'll draw another circle about right here, and I'll put in the dimensions and the locations of those holes. So let's dimension this circle, and I'll do that as 0.1875, and I'll do the horizontal distance of this as 1.025, and I'll do the vertical distance as 1.035. So measure with your calipers, get the best dimension that you can. I'll dimension this as 0.132, and I'll dimension the location from here over horizontally as 3.275. And I try to use dimensions that are easy to measure with calipers. I'll dimension from here up to here, and that distance 1.015. And so now this sketch is fully constrained. I want to add one more piece of geometry to this sketch that we'll see why we use this later on. So I'm going to draw a line from here, and I want it collinear with this line, and I'm going to make this one and this one then equal. So I'll do equal, and see that white dot will turn black. It's now fully defined once I make those two lines equal. Now I'm tempted to replace this construction line with an arc, and so I think I'll do that. It's projected line. I'm going to change that to construction line, and then I'm going to do a tangent arc or a 3-point arc. I'll try a tangent arc first, and so I'm going to put an object line arc over top of that. If I change the previous geometry, I'm less likely to have a lot of errors with the projected geometry if I make a change, if I put in that object line. Alright, I'll finish that sketch, and that completes sketch number 2.